Hi guys. I'm sure you guys missed me, right? You know how I know that? Because I'm the last living being on the planet after a religious war, and you're now all dead and rotten. I bet you guys miss being alive. Yeah, but it's actually not so bad as being in a bunker alone in an apocalyptic future. I've been through something like this before. This is not the first time I've watched everyone die. That's right. You heard me. The whole of humanity was once decimated. And to tell you this story today, I need to tell you how Big Bang became the most powerful man in Megalopolisville. Big Bang wasn't always the Big Bang, you know. The strongest and fastest man in the world, and the first in command of the Society of Virtue. He was once just an ordinary guy like you. He also had a shitty job like you. He was also fucked over by his friends and thought he was a loser. And yeah, he had no idea he was a loser either. Big Bang, before it was called Big Bang, was called Wilson. And he was always a different child. A child who just didn't fit into our world because he didn't understand how things worked. But our story starts long after that. In the old days, things were very different. Bullies weren't just kids from high school. Adults also did a lot of bullying just for fun. And they usually didn't like gays, blacks, Asians, women, Indians, dwarves, Jews, atheists, redheads, Latinos, fat, intelligent, unintelligent, etc. But there was one thing they liked less than all of this. Wilson, who was already in his early 40s and working in a government quantum physics lab. Wilson spent his entire life studying and trying to understand how the world worked. Maybe that way he could finally find a way to fit into it, find his place, and math and physics seemed the most obvious way to do that.
Oh!
Hey, why are you here?
I'm finishing your report.
Oh, you think you're too good, right? Do you think you're better than me just because you're doing my job for me? Because you're smarter than me? Because you know how to tie your shoes?
No, not at all.
I think that you think it's time I gave you a raise and a promotion. Is that it?
Every week was the same, but the only raise he ever got was from the bags under his eyes that looked like a plum, or his lip that grew like a cabbage. But that day, something different happened. Someone was lurking in the shadows. Oh yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming, right? Who would this bald woman be? If you've ever watched a movie in your life, you know that when the maintenance guy shows up, he's most likely a very enlightened karate or kung fu master, or Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. With every blow from that mysterious woman, with each movement, it became clear that this was not an ordinary person. And at that moment, he was able to see the universal language of nature. He was able to understand the language of his own life and realize that everything he searched for his entire life was right in front of him.
That was incredible. Can you maybe teach me?
But what she sees in him, it's quite different. And she just disappeared, just like that, leaving Wilson with more doubts and more alone than before. He knew that his whole world had changed at that moment, and that he would do anything to be a part of that new world. Or at least, not be part of this world anymore. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Oh shit, I bet you thought there was more, right? Maybe if I wasn't here talking to you right now. The irony, right? What did she see in him? Well, I know what she saw. And I guarantee you have no idea what it is. Well, I've been in this bunker alone for over 15 years, and half of this food is at least 5 years past its expiration date. Don't worry. In the next video, you'll finally find out how Wilson became the Big Bang. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.